Is Bitcoin surging to infinity? Bitcoin to $100,000. Bitcoin to the moon. Bitcoin to infinity. Whatever you want to say. The world's largest cryptocurrency is staging a comeback that has taken it up more than 50% from recent lows, reviving animal spirits and coaxing out sky-high price targets that, while a source of comedy for some, emerge when the asset is rallying. Out are predictions the digital currency was ready to retest $20,000 amid a slew of negative headlines that many said would push it lower. Back in vogue are calls for the coin to keep rallying again to its all-time highs and beyond. It's roaring back. Melton Demores, chief strategy officer at crypto fund provider CoinShares, said by phone. Despite new regulatory scrutiny, many investors perceive this as positive news and a positive catalyst because it's clearing up a lot of the confusion, or some of the uncertainty. And I think what's being demonstrated as well is the crypto community is no longer some esoteric corner of finance. The cryptocurrency is defying criticism over its toll on the environment, and is advancing even as regulators around the world are promising tougher crackdowns. China, for one, has taken a number of steps to clamp down on crypto mining, among other things. In the U.S., policymakers are focusing on digital assets in a new way, with U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler calling the space the Wild West. He said he wouldn't compromise on protecting investors and setting out a regulatory framework. Could BTC's current push break the $100,000 mark? Strategists are tossing the doubts aside for now and are instead bringing out soaring price targets, which have long been a part of the investment thesis behind getting into cryptocurrencies. It's still got plenty of room to get the old high, Bloomberg Intelligence's Mike McGlone said in a television interview. And guess what? If it follows Ethereum, it goes to $100,000, he said, referring to Bitcoin's catching up percentage-wise to the second token's performance. Fundstrat Global Advisors Tom Lee also sees it reaching $100,000 by the end of 2021. The firm's co-founder and head of research recommends investors follow a simple rule. If Bitcoin crosses above its average price over the last 200 days, a long-term momentum measure, then it's time to buy. The coin crossed that hurdle in recent days. With Bitcoin crossing above its 200D, we think Bitcoin will rally strongly into year-end. The rally comes despite potential new tax reporting requirements. A change to cryptocurrency reporting rules in Congress's infrastructure bill was blocked Monday, leaving language for broad oversight of virtual currencies in the legislation that was passed in the Senate Tuesday. Bitcoin can see 55K breakout if last major BTC price resistance is broken, according to an analyst. A short squeeze could send BTC USD far beyond $50,000 if the $48,000 sell wall crumbles. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView showed BTC USD attempting to exit the $46,000 range on Tuesday after heading lower as the week began. The area between $45,000 and $48,000 has acted as a narrow trading corridor for Bitcoin, as it attempts to knock down its last hurdle before $50,000. So far, however, bulls have lacked the momentum to affect major change. For Cointelegraph contributor Michael Vandepop, $48,000 was the level to watch on the day, as a breakout from there could lead to another upward impulse move. If we clearly break through there, that is probably going to trigger a big short squeeze, as everybody's looking for a short in this area, he said in a fresh YouTube update. It reminds me of the $6,000 zone that we had with Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is going to break through this level, I think we're going to have a squeeze all the way up to $55,000 to $56,000, the next level that we have here. Fellow trader and analyst Rex Capital agreed that there was still plenty of fuel left in Bitcoin's uptrend despite the lack of an impulse move so far. A go through the last 1 week. Over the last week, Bitcoin, BTC, made a solid move, surging past all the way to $47,000. Even now, BTC is holding above its critical support levels of $45,000. At press time, Bitcoin is trading at $46,392 and has a market cap of $370 billion. This comes amid major improvements in Bitcoin's on-chain metrics. The Bitcoin network continues to absorb new capital inflows. Bitcoin's on-chain equivalent of market cap, aka its realized cap, has touched an all-time high. As Glassnode reports, it is calculated by valuing each coin at the price when it was last spent, representing an aggregate cost basis for the market. The uptrend in realized cap explains that the coin accumulated at cheaper prices have been spent and sold, and the market must absorb the sell-side pressure to trend higher. As Glassnode explains, the realized cap started trending higher in late June and has just reached a new all-time high of $379 billion. Given spot prices have continued to rally, this indicates that new capital is flowing into Bitcoin, and the market is capable of absorbing that sell-side pressure. Bitcoin adoption is skyrocketing in Asian countries. But why? The largest continent in the world has come forward as the foremost and leading the way towards crypto adoption. A new survey studying retail crypto investments in 27 countries worldwide found that the top 5 amongst them were in Asia. Crypto adoption. The survey by Finder.com found that the highest in retail crypto investments was in Vietnam, as 41% of its respondents confirmed owning at least one cryptocurrency. On the flip side, the UK and US fared at the bottom of the list, with 9% and 8% of the respondents owning crypto, respectively. The study surveyed 42,000 people across 27 countries and was conducted using Google. However, the report recognized that as Google's infrastructure varied within each country, the report was unlikely to be representative of the whole country. This is because the sample was more likely to have surveyed those households that were inclined towards crypto investments, such as those with internet access in countries that don't even have equitable electricity access. Nevertheless, it was found that in close second to Vietnam were India and Indonesia, both of which had 30% of crypto ownership within respondents. Trailing closely were also Malaysia and the Philippines, which were only a couple of percentage points behind. The cause behind the surge. The survey opined that remittances were the leading cause behind this surge in retail crypto ownership within these Asian countries. All of them have large numbers of migratory populations living and earning in the Western world, so it is likely that the money they send back home is in the form of cryptocurrencies in order to avoid high transaction and conversion costs. In terms of the demographic breakup of crypto investors, the findings of this study were similar to those conducted for individual countries earlier. Sizable gender disparities were found within crypto owners, with men more likely to own crypto than women in each country. Even as the average percentage of crypto investors was 19%, it was found that the average percentage for men was 22%, as compared to just 15% for women. The gender pay gap was cited as a possible reason behind the disparity by the survey. As it stands now, the momentum could be hard to break despite minor temporal disruptions that might arise on ladder.
That's all for today. If you have any question regarding crypto, do not hesitate to reach out to us in the comments section. To continue enjoying more of our crypto videos, kindly subscribe to our channel. Do us a favor by liking, commenting, and sharing our content with friends or across social media channels.